This is KGW News at Sunrise.
A murder suspect's escape caught on courthouse cameras. See how it all went down coming up.
And we have come to the end of our week-long series on mental health, counseled inside our schools. We've spoken to students and counselors at elementary, middle, and high school about the state of mental health among students, and now we're hearing from you. Plus,
when you see those thousands of people just streaming constantly across the finish line, you're witnessing something really special.
Yeah, not just thousands. How about tens of thousands? Maybe 20,000 or so expected in downtown Portland this Sunday for the annual Shamrock Run. So we have a full preview of the event from one of the best runners I know by the name of Chris McGinnis. And Chris also happens to be filling in this morning for Rod Hill. So a couple of things going on. Shamrock Run, usually an indication that spring is near. But this morning, we're looking out at the Newport Skycam, Chris, and it's snowing.
Big fat flakes on the Newport camera a few minutes ago. It looks like they've switched back over to rain as the temperature, or I should say the precipitation has eased up just a little bit there. But yeah, it's March 10th and we're talking about snow at the beach. Here's a look at radar over the last 3 hours. One of the reasons why Newport was seeing some snow, we've got low pressure that literally is tracking right over the central Oregon coast and into the coast range right now. So because of that track and areas immediately in the path of that, the snow levels are able to drop a little bit because the precipitation intensity has picked up. I can say right now that the valley is well above freezing. So even if we do mix in a couple snowflakes in the air, that's about all we'll see at lower elevations. Higher terrain, different story. We do have some rain beginning to work its way back into the Portland metro area. In fact, it's raining lightly. It looks like right outside our studio. 41 last check at PDX. The plan for today, occasional rain, temperatures in the low 40s. We may see a few sun breaks late this afternoon. Guys.
All right, Chris, thanks for that update in the Weather Center. Right now, we do want to get to some of our top headlines this morning, starting with this. Portland police investigating a deadly shooting in southeast Portland. It happened last night. Officers responded at around 7:30 to Southeast 74th and Powell near Mount Tabor. A man was found dead lying in a lot off of Powell Boulevard right near a homeless encampment. Police say they did not find the shooter to this point, so far, no arrests have been made.
Classes are canceled at Franklin High School today following a shooting near campus yesterday afternoon. It happened about 6 blocks from the school near Southeast 43rd and Division. Administrators tell us students and staff heard the shots, and both Franklin and Atkinson Elementary went into lockdown. Police did find a shooting scene and say no one was hurt. Now, administrators tell us that there will be support available for any student who needs it starting at 12:30 today. They will also provide lunches during the regular lunch period. It wasn't that long ago that this was the scene playing out in Franklin's gym. KGW was there filming Friday Night Hoops back in January when a shooting happened just outside the school. Police detained a 15-year-old boy in that case and confiscated a gun.
we are finally getting a look at security footage of the moment a murder suspect escaped from the Washington County Courthouse late last month. Take a look. You can see deputies bringing the suspect, 28-year-old Eddie Villalobos, into the courtroom. His hands and legs were in restraints. You can see it right there. Villalobos gets those restraints taken off. He sits down. They take off his leg restraints as well. That is a requirement under Oregon law for court proceedings. That is when Villalobos makes a mad dash for the door. He runs down several hallways through the front doors. Eventually, then he's gone. It took deputies about 2 hours to find him holed up in the closet of a nearby apartment. Villalobos was in court that day for jury selection ahead of his murder trial. He was arrested in 2021 for stabbing 2 men, killing one of them. The sheriff's office is now reviewing what happened. That review could take weeks to complete.
Other headlines this morning. TV Highway at Southwest Barber is back open this morning after a crash. Fire and Rescue posted this photo on Twitter just after 11 o'clock last night. 2 cars were involved. Crews had to free both of the drivers and they were taken to the hospital. A diesel tank explosion injured 2 firefighters in the Dalles. This happened about 8 o'clock last night at the Ameritise plant off I-84. The company makes railroad ties. The Wasco County Sheriff's Office says the incident started as a fire, which caused the tank to explode. No word yet what caused the blast, but the 2 injured firefighters are in good condition. And former NBA star Shawn Kemp is out of jail after he says he shot a man in self-defense. Kemp's lawyer said in a statement to ESPN, this was no drive-by shooting as initially reported. He says somebody broke into Kemp's car on Tuesday, and Kemp tracked his stolen phone to a car at the Tacoma Mall. Kemp says someone in the car started shooting at him, so he fired back. The Pierce County Prosecutor's Office has confirmed it will not press charges. The investigation, though, ongoing. And those are some of your Friday morning headlines.
Well, before we get to this morning's local forecast, the Today Show is covering some crazy weather that's expected this weekend on the East Coast and to the south of us in California. Here's NBC's Dylan Dreyer with a look at what's coming up.
Good morning, everyone. We have messy weather from coast to coast. A monster storm making its way onshore in California. We're looking at dangerous flooding, rain, mountain snow, all of possibilities. Some of the worst flooding we've seen in several years is possible. We also have the snow falling back through the Midwest. This is going to turn into a northeast storm where we've certainly had that snowfall deficit. So could this be the storm that brings that snow that a lot of folks have been missing? We will break down all the details in your full coast to coast forecast coming up this morning on the Today Show.
Okay, let's bring it back to the metro area and beyond. How are we looking weather-wise?
Well, we haven't hit 50 degrees now in almost 3 weeks. Would you believe that?
Yes, I would.
I do have a 7-day forecast that is full of 50s starting tomorrow. Would you also believe that that is still below average, but inching a little closer in the right direction? Unbelievable, right? Starting off this morning, of course, we did have some snow showers showing up on our Newport camera just a couple of minutes ago. Low pressure now tracking right over the central Oregon coast into the Coast Range. So this will be the sweet spot. If there's going to be some low elevation snow, it'll be right along this path, taking us right through portions of Polk and Marion County as that low continues tracking on off to the north and east. All that said, temperatures in the Willamette Valley this morning are in the upper 30s, so we're not concerned about snow on the valley floor, but there could be some snowflakes mixed in with the raindrops even at the lowest elevations early on today. The bigger perspective, in fact, let's go out just a little bit wider. I can show you that big swirl of low pressure off the Oregon coast, continuing to direct increasing rain back in the metro area. We had some dry time in the wee hours this morning. The rain, though, is moving back in, and the big perspective here shows, again, a complex area of low pressure here. It's just kind of spinning off the northwest coast. As we look upstream, there's not a lot going on. Now, there's some cold air aloft that may trigger some spotty showers tomorrow, but our forecast actually does tend to dry out a little bit as we head towards the first half of the weekend. The second half, not so much. I'll show you a future cast in a second. It's 41 degrees last check at PDX. King City checking in with 37. It's 36 right now in Salem. Big perspective across the state. Bend has warmed a little bit. You're up to 30 at last report, and now 33 in Baker City. Here's future cast. Low pressure tracking right over the central Willamette Valley. Rain and possibly some wet snowflakes mixed in. Snow levels, I can say today, around 1,000 feet to start, and then they climb up a little bit as we go into the afternoon. You'll also notice that future cast keeps the brunt of the precipitation this afternoon south of the metro area. We may wind up with a few sunbreaks later today. I think we will see some sunbreaks at the Oregon and the North Oregon and the South Washington coast. Fast forwarding into tomorrow, we start off dry, but it looks like some showers could pop in the afternoon, and then we'll fast forward a little bit more into Sunday. Shamrock Run Sunday. The runs start early by 8 o'clock or so. We'll probably have some dry time in the morning, but Futurecast shows the next round of rain, steady rain moving in Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening, and that'll trigger another really wet day, we think, on Monday. So real quick, upper 40s today, maybe some sunbreaks later this afternoon. 53 degrees for the first time in 3 weeks, guys. We get into the 50s on Saturday, and despite the wet weather in the extended forecast, we stay in the 50s for the rest of the extended forecast.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris. Coming up, we have the last installment of our 5-part series, Counseled Inside Our Schools. This week, we've spoken to students and counselors about mental health in the classroom. And next, we're wrapping things up and sharing some of your thoughts.